Okay guys, so what do you suppose we got going on today? We're going to make a mason jar prototype, and then once I've done it with the paper, this scrap paper, this was just scrap paper that I had, then I'm going to go back and use a specific kit, okay? And then, so we're practicing to see if this is going to work. I used a brand new I think this needs to go down. I'm not sure if it goes this way or this way, but it's got to be, I don't know, we're going to figure it out. I can tell you what it's supposed to look like, but it came from Cricut Design Space, so I don't know that there's a prototype for it. Okay, that should go like that. Okay, this I know goes in like so. So I think we'll start there. Get everything going here. And then these pieces would be acetate. So but I just wanted to see how it went together before I did anything, right? And there's two of these. So this is supposed to be a mason jar. And I'm hoping it works out because this is the large version of it, and you can make it smaller, right? If you know Cricut Design Space, you know that you can go in and select all and shrink it to the size. I think I'm going to do it this way. These tore practically in the same spot. Can you believe that? So yeah, you can go in, hit select all, and shrink every piece, and it perceivably will still all fit together. Now this is part of a birthday present, if it works out the way I want it to. I'm going to fill it with hard candy. Okay, so those are those. This is the lid. This I know is the lid. And then these are the little parts that go around the top of the lid. Okay, so let's get started with the lid, just because it makes sense to me. Okay. We're basically going to make a lid just like this, okay? So, let me get my glue. Let's go. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. Things here are pretty good. Our forest fire is still burning, although it's not huge. We've had really large forest fires, guys. In a couple of years back, we had one that burnt over 100,000 acres. We had one that burned 341,000 acres. So we've had some really big forest fires. This one hasn't gotten there yet, but the scary part of this one is it's burning close to our house. Last night we could actually see it, which was kind of scary. But the other thing is, there's a place here called Pinos Altos, New Mexico, and it's got the old Buckhorn Opera House, and then it's got the fort. So we got a couple of historical sites up there. And then out in the Members where it's burning, we've got the Members Cultural Heritage Center, where there's ruins, Indian ruins. I'm sorry I didn't say that word to offend anybody, but that's what they're called. And so there's that, and so that means there's another historical site, and then we have, besides the cultural center, what do we have? There was something else. I can't think of it now. There's the log cabin restaurant out there. And then they evacuated my in-laws who were having to stay in town, which is never comfortable. I mean, you love being near your family, and it's nice to take a vacation, but not this kind, right? And then on the other side of the mountain, we have a couple of lakes, and we have our cliff dwellings. So all of that is always scary when you think that it could burn. Oh, that's what it was. Fort Baird Medical Center, the old fort, the historic hospital. I think they tore our hospital down there, though. I think it's just some of the old houses, because there was a movie they filmed at that old hospital, which was kind of cool. Some say the hospital's haunted, but who can say, right? We don't know. We don't know. Okay, here's our lid. So you guys have to tell me, do you think this looks like a mason jar? I kind of think it's cool. I mean, being made out of paper, I think it's pretty cool. A little more glue. And again, like I said, this is our prototype. I just wanted to get used to making it correctly before I committed to, and then I know also how to angle the paper in the kit I'm using. Okay, so now we're just going to turn all of this under and glue it down. I don't know why I thought these were the lemons, because there is lemons in the picture, but I suppose you could make these lemons. I'm not going to worry about the 3D lemons. I'm just going to worry about making the container so it can house some candy. There we go. There we go. Some of my stuff hasn't stuck yet. Come on, glue. And you know, I have to go over and knock on the YouTube door of our Miss Michelle over at the Hobby Hobbit. See how she's doing. She hasn't filmed in a while. And okay, so then this would be our decorative piece of paper, and it would go right here. So we're just gonna pretend it's not real, but it's giving us the practice. So then this would go here. That would be the top of our jar, and then these guys will go here. This I know. I probably could have made them a different color, but oh well. When I do the real deal, these will be made on metallic paper, okay? This is, like I said, practice, 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 practice. This one will go here. This will be our lid. Yeah, I got a really cool idea for this. Super duper cool idea. Again, I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. We are sneaking up on the 4th of July, aren't we? So I also wanted to say I want to have a sale just after the 4th of July weekend. Or yeah, after. It would be after the 4th of July. I want to have a craft sale. A de-stash sale, if you will. Okay, so here's our lid. And I would love it if you guys would tell me in the comments what you would like as far as what would you like to see in a sale, and what are you looking to buy. And I think I'll do the drawing. Look at that. That was pretty cool. I'll do the drawing for my subscriber giveaway. You know, remember the D-Stash giveaway? I think I'll do those during the live sale. Alright, there's our lid, which is pretty cool. Now, these go on here like that, and I think this goes on the bottom. That's what I think. Alright, let's get this one going. And then these go inside. Like this. See, that would be our acetate. And this one would go here. It's not really like super duper explained. We'll get this together, and then we'll figure it out. Okay, so I know these go this way. Okay, let's get this one going. I don't want to put them both all the way together because I do know that just kind of want to eyeball it, because one of these is a lid and one of them is the bottom. This I do know. Like so. And like so. And this is why I didn't want to burn a real kit until I knew for sure. I didn't get that far enough over on this one. I didn't want to burn a real kit before I knew what I was doing here. Because I think one of these pieces may go in the bottom and one may go on top. But that's why I like to practice, guys. That's why I like to practice. And you get to follow me. So if you have Cricut Design Space and you have Cricut Access, then you can get this off there. It is by, and I can't remember. Lost it. I totally lost it. Huh. Well, my stuff. It is by, can't remember. Here we go. Let's click on this. Louise Beauregard. And it says this is the larger version of the mason jar. The lid is removable. And then it says, oh, look, instructions can be found. Yay. Okay, I'm going to go and watch the instructions after I get through putting my pieces together here. I know these all go down. See, I think these, I don't know. We're going to go watch I'm going to go watch the instructions and then I'll finish it up. That one. And then this one will be the same way. Right? I'm going to go watch the instructions, guys, and when we come back, I'll know what I'm doing. Stay tuned for part 2. Be right back. Okay, guys, we're back, and then I figured out how to do the acetate, but I thought, let's make it a little more realistic. And I used tracing paper for the inside, and then I will do a better video of this when I get to the real deal. So these tabs on this piece and this piece that bend in, you glue those, line those up, and put our paper in, right? So then all of these that have this weird little crookedy crook thing right here should be at the top, and then all of these should be at the bottom. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, which is a little tricky, is we're going to glue. Now I'm going to use acetate when I do the real one. So we're going to glue each one of these just like so. And you need to get that as lined up as possible. So this one will go this way. This one will go in here. This is why I like to make a prototype before I jump out on the limb here and just start gluing stuff, right? You got a little more practice, and then when you get to the real one, you're ready to rock and roll. So this is going to make a big mason jar. So I do know that I can shrink this down a little more and make two smaller ones. Or I could make them all the same size, right? I could make them all the exact same size. And you could put whatever you wanted in here. You could put craft supplies, you could put candy, you could put a fake candle. Oh, you guys, I got one somewhere too. Somewhere I have a fake candle. I'll find it. I will find it, and we'll put it in the real deal. I also have fake fairy lights that we could use. We could set up some fairy lights in here if you wanted. I mean, sky's the limit. I already know what I'm doing with mine. I got to be careful with my words or I'll give it away. If you know me and you know my channel, you could probably guess what this is going to be for. Okay, there's that one. And there's this one. I'm looking forward to the real deal, though, that's for sure. And this one. This is kind of cool. I bet you I get a fake candle. Now this one's just a prototype, so we're not doing anything crazy with it other than just putting it together, right? So these go here. And then the opposite end is for the top. And the top is going to be as easy as the lid was, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Okay, and then this one. I did not count these. I do believe the lady said there were 8. And then we put the lid on. I mean the 2 bottom pieces on. And that was this one. And then the one I know there's another yellow in here somewhere. There were 3 of those. So at the time that we make it with the real kit, we'll put them the right way. I don't see any reason to do it right now. Okay, and then this one. This was really fun. Or so far so good fun. I mean, sitting around watching the glue waiting on the glue to dry isn't. Okay, so then now these come out like so. And this is the part that got me. I'm like, what are we doing here? But this part is pretty easy. This is where your bottom goes. Okay, and then this piece goes, we're going to glue this like so. Okay, onto this longer piece, right? Like that. And line that up. just like so. Right to the edge, but not over. This one's got to be pretty precise, guys. She was using double-sided tape too, which is what I will be doing once we get going. Okay, and then now this goes inside. Fold like so. Okay, and then each of these pieces gets glued down onto that bottom like this. Okay, and I'm gonna turn mine in, and very carefully, I know you probably can't see this, but basically what I'm doing is turning that piece in. I'm pushing against the bottom and the top so that that gets a good grip. Okay, and then the next one, the same, just like this. Folding, I should have folded it a little better. There we go. I'm just kind of using my arm in hold. Okay, and then the next one. Yep, I thought I'm going to try this and I'm going to see how difficult it is, and if it's a pain in the fatookie, well, I'm not going to do it. But now that I know, and when you see the project, you'll say, yep, I don't blame you. That is exactly the one I would have used. Pretty cool. This would make a great birthday gift for somebody, you know, especially if they were a canning person, like somebody who did a lot of canning. You could fill it with a baggie full of like oregano and mint and chives, and you know what I mean, like just put a little Ziploc baggie of each one in there and then give it to that person as a gift. That'd be cool. But mine's gonna have candy in it. I'm going candy on this one. There we go. I got my bottom done. Okay, and then the other bottom, this piece that I tried to stick to the top actually gets stuck to the bottom. So let's get that going. See. What a clever idea this was. I don't know how you guys do it, these designers. Okay, then this one will go on here. That just kind of gives that bottom some stability. Oops, come on, straighten up. And just mash it all around. Look at that. Yep. My inside will be nicer on the next one though. Alright, so now we're going to do the lid. And it's going to go the same way. We're going to... Now this one you got to make sure is dry before you let go of it. Pretty cool. And I'm thinking these tabs on the inside are just that, tabs on the inside, so that we form like a little neck on the jar. Like this. Come on, get on there. And it might go just down like that other one did. I'll watch the lady. I will watch the lady, and we will come back for part 3. So hang tight, guys. I'll see you in part 3. Okay guys, so I was correct. This one will go this way. Now the top is going to be a little bit different once we get there. A little bit, not a lot. Just going to make sure everything is glued and dried. Okay, so these pieces will go this way. Sorry. Like this. It's like almost making a lantern. So this will go up this way. And this is the jar. The lid sits on this piece. Well, that is so cool. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and move forward with this. And I will post that next Saturday. And then I'll just do you're seeing it here. So next week you'll see the finished product, and I'll refer back to here on the how to do it. I'll link this video, my prototype video. Pretty cool, actually. Can't wait to get it all the way glued so you guys can see how that's gonna look. Yep, that is definitely the way it goes. Get some glue down there. Get that right there. I've done these on lanterns before. And then we'll just get the lid on it. And yippee-ki-yay, I can cut the other one out and get that one made so I can show you for next weekend. Yay! I'll post it next Saturday. The finished product. That'll be so much fun. Okay, so here's this. Actually pretty sturdy too. I mean, I wouldn't fill it with rocks or anything super heavy, but for this piece we're doing good. I should have done this piece first. Let me bend that one back. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys to death, but that's it in a nutshell. Okay, this one will go here. This one will go here. Yeah, I like this. I'm going to go show my husband here as soon as I'm finished with this film. Say, look at what I made. Because you could do a lot of things with this. Like I said, you could fill it with, you could put flowers in it. If you put, something inside of it that would hold water. You could put this one, not the other one. Like I said, I'm gonna put candy, and you could put herbs. You could put what else could we put in it? Oh, come on now. This one did not want to work with me here. This side was being a booger. Gotta hold it just right. There we go. It wanted to just not go with the flow, guys. You can see on the inside where all of those tabs lined up. Okay. And then this one will be the last one before we put our lid on. Yay! Okay, let me get our lid. That is so cool. So what would I do differently? Well, one of the things I would do differently is, what would I do differently? I'll crease my lines better for sure. Burnish the lines better. And two, I'm going to do it with foil for the lid. Look at this, guys. Is that not cute? Look at that. All right, lightweight. Oh, and I'll use double-sided tape here. So cool. I love it. Yep, and then I'm going to make extra of these so I can make it a little stronger on the bottom. But that being said, tell me what you think in the description or in the comment section. All right, guys, hasta. I'll see you in the next video. So I just had to show you guys what it looks like with the light in it. And it does work. This is a solar powered light that's in there. So you would have to take the lid off. You see the light? You would have to take the lid off and set it outside during the day, or set it under something where it would get light, or take it out. But it definitely works. That's pretty cool. So all that being said, ooh, you could put fireflies in there. All right, guys. Bye.